Join Mind Expansion Daily as we dive into the chaos of Cucuta under siege in Colombia and see if we can navigate through the madness and uncover the real story. Cucuta is a border city facing significant challenges due to economic and humanitarian crises, with thousands of migrants crossing over from Venezuela every day. The city is dealing with an influx of Venezuelan migrants, which puts a huge strain on local resources such as food, water, and healthcare. Many of these migrants are fleeing poverty, hunger, and violence in their home country, and they're often forced to live on the streets or in makeshift shelters. This has led to a significant increase in crime rates, with many migrants turning to petty theft or other illicit activities just to survive. The city's infrastructure is also struggling to cope with the influx of new arrivals, with roads, schools, and hospitals becoming increasingly overcrowded. The strain on local resources is taking a huge toll on the community, with many residents struggling to access basic necessities like food and healthcare. The city's economy is also suffering, with many businesses forced to close due to the lack of customers and the increasing competition from informal traders. Local authorities are trying to respond to the crisis, but they're often overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the problem. The city's social services are also under huge pressure, with many families struggling to cope with the trauma and stress of displacement. Migrants are often forced to wait for hours or even days just to receive basic medical attention, and many are forced to go without food or shelter for extended periods. The situation is particularly dire for vulnerable groups like women and children, who are often at risk of exploitation and abuse. The city's residents are doing their best to help, with many community groups and charities providing vital support to migrants in need. The situation in Cucuta is a stark reminder of the human cost of the crisis in Venezuela, and the need for urgent action to support those affected. In recent months, the city has seen a series of protests and demonstrations, with many residents demanding that the government take more action to address the crisis. The government has responded with a range of measures, including increased funding for social services and new initiatives to support migrant integration. One recent event that highlights the severity of the situation is the attempted closure of the border crossing by the Venezuelan government, which left thousands of migrants stranded and without access to basic necessities. The situation escalated into violent clashes between migrants and security forces, leaving many injured and several dead. This event is a stark reminder of the desperation and frustration that many migrants are feeling, and the need for a more sustainable and humane solution to the crisis. The attempted border closure also had a huge impact on the local economy, with many businesses forced to close due to the lack of trade and commerce. The city's residents were also affected, with many forced to go without food or other essential supplies for extended periods. The situation is a reminder of the complex and interconnected nature of the crisis, and the need for a coordinated and multifaceted response. The crisis in Cucuta is a complex and multifaceted issue, with many different factors at play. To summarize, the city is facing significant challenges due to the influx of Venezuelan migrants, which is putting a huge strain on local resources and infrastructure. The situation is a stark reminder of the human cost of the crisis in Venezuela, and the need for urgent action to support those affected. The main points to take away are that Cucuta is facing a huge crisis due to the influx of migrants, the city's resources are under strain, and the situation is having a significant impact on the local community. Be sure to share your thoughts on the situation in the comments below, and check out another video on the crisis in Venezuela to learn more about this complex and multifaceted issue. Thanks for joining Mind Expansion Daily. We truly appreciate you.